recent gang stalking, passive aggressiveness. As usual, this narcissistic dirtbag, Dennis Rokser, who's a sellout punk pastor that worked for the gang stalking program, when he was up on Andy Wood's channel, was doing narcissistic games, playing narcissistic games. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's envious, because I haven't had a drop of alcohol for more than 10 months. And he knows that, and that makes him feel bad, because most likely Pastor Dennis Rokser has drunk more than a drop of alcohol the last 10 months. As a pastor, see. And most likely he's watched internet porn about being married at least once the last 6 months. So he needs to devour this and do passive aggressive, which is like, oh yeah, this AA, he's doing narcissistic, where he's referencing a recent upload before he went live on Andy Wood's channel, and it's on these gang stalking pastors. There's a lot of narcissistic development. It's like, oh, Mike, who's a target or narcissistic abuse, and we sell our pastors to his rocks, and we do things with target Mike, and with perception management people and mess with him. So you'd be like, I make a video 10 years sober, 10 months sober now, I don't alcohol. And I go, typically people count months or in AA and were alcoholics before they quit drinking. Yeah, I quit for a different reason. I was an alcoholic, but I quit in like 10 months, now sober. And notice how he'll be referencing this. And gas on it, be like, oh yeah, AA, Liars Anonymous. Liars Anonymous. This is an example of gang stalking, narcissistic abuse by a pastor, where they're also spying on us. It's like the day before Dennis Rokser, before he went live on Andy Wood's channel and talked about all kinds of stuff, I uploaded a video, short video, 10 months sober update, 10 months on out of alcohol. And I said, typically people count months. And tell you it's like 10 months sober now, they're counting months since they stopped drinking. Usually they're alcoholics, people that were alcoholic for quitting. Now for me, that it's not that issue since I decided to quit. And notice this is example, the subtle target that I get from pastors, gang stalking pastor Dennis Rokser. It was like Mike SAHA, who said that we target him with passive aggressiveness in our videos. He made a video yesterday, 10 months sober now. And typically people let you know how many months it's been since quit drinking were members of AA. And like used to be an alcoholic or something like this. That's not the case for me. I just decided to quit. And then within 24 hours, Dennis Rokser is live on Andy Wood's channel, and then suddenly insinuated that I'm lying. See, which and doing narcissistic evaluation tactics would be like, yeah, it's like people like Christians are not liars anonymous. And lying is like suddenly insinuating that it's like, oh, you're lying when you say that you're 10 months sober. And work the perception manage his viewers, if they find my videos, to have like a little subtle perception filter, be like, oh, he's probably lying about 10 months sober. See, it can be that subtle. And I won't be surprised if Dennis Rokser narcissistically is envious. And he feels in fear because he hears me speak the truth. They had dropped back for 10 months and I'm watching porn for more than 6 months, for sure. And most likely he's watched porn more than once, internet porn, despite being married for the last 6 months. Like at least once last 6 months. And most likely he's drank alcohol more than a drop the last 10 months. So it's like, oh, this guy who's not a pastor is more successful in this area than I am. Okay. So, I mean, I guess I could go to playing old videos and put the dots together. I said this in Elijah, you can tell that the Bible Church is responding to it in the video, because that's the type of stuff that goes on. Now, it's very subtle. It's like you could make the case and kind of show it, but it takes so much work, and like scouring through my past live streams and then finding the part of their live stream where they reference something else. It's like it's so much work. Nice point. I don't have to prove the guilt of anything to deal with them as if they're guilty. I know they're guilty. No due process. They're guilty. If I had the ability to get the consequences for their guilt, I don't have to prove they're guilty. They work for a program that's been working to do worse than just say bad things about me. There are lies in their case, 9 out of 10 times. So it's like, if they be, Mike, you're being unfair, you're calling us out and saying we're this and that. You didn't prove it. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, here's the point. Dennis Rokser up on Eddie Wood's channel was doing narcissistic covert abuse as usual. Do you understand? It's like, this is how it operates. That's subtle. Let's say I make a video, 11 months sober now, sober life update, 11 months sober now, and then I go a YouTube short. Do you understand? If I hadn't done the update and I make a video tomorrow, let's say it was 11 months, sober life update, Christian sober life update, 11 months sober now, not drop alcohol. And I know, because I have some awareness, like some people perceive it like, oh, if I don't say that I didn't quit because I was an alcoholic before, people assume that a guy who tells you how many months it's been since he quit drinking, it's like most people who go 12 months sober now and they got some necklace, or they let you know on the fridge how many months, they let you know like 12 months sober now. People that are counting months since they quit drinking typically are people, they used to be alcoholics, joined AA or some sober program, whatever the program is, and then they started counting months and turned sober. So when I made the video, 10 months sober update, 10 months sober now, not a drop of alcohol. And I go, well, I understand that most people, they let you know how many months, they count in months or years to quit drinking. They used to be alcoholics. And the reason I quit drinking, I wasn't alcoholic before then, but I took a sober life challenge and committed to 4 years sober. And 10 months out of 12, I'm here now. Okay. And then Dennis Rokser, when 48 Hours goes live, here's a person that said is one of those people talking with passive aggressiveness, covert abuse for the gang stalking program, and commentates on devaluation and gaslighting and things like this. They say, oh, there's a value, need to devalue this. So he goes live at the Wood channel and goes in the middle of a sermon and be like, oh yeah, it's like Liars Anonymous. It's like Christian Liars Anonymous. And then someone goes, how long it's been since you lied? And they will lie when they answer or something like this. So it's sadly insinuating that I'm lying when I say I hadn't had no backup for 10 months. See? That's how sad it can be. Whereas like the time of events, where people that are not subscribed to me and saw my video the day before saying 10 months sober and be like, oh, do you understand? People that have two pieces of puzzles like, oh, Mike keeps ranting about the Bible Church, and Dennis Rokser is one of these pastors that talk with passive aggressive, like covert, subtle psychological warfare videos. And I've been subscribed to him, and I know that Mike uploaded a video yesterday, 10 months sober. And then the next day, Dennis Rokser's live, and he wants to talk about people lying, that they are like anonymous, like Liars Anonymous, they be lying. So it's suddenly insinuating that it's like, oh yeah, Mike, you're lying, when they say 10 months sober. This is how sad it can be. And I thought about this before. It could be like as simple as, it's not all like the passage or textbook, like do narcissistic abuse. There's going to be some part of organic narcissism in the person. Where it's like a pastor who might feel, this guy's outshining me. It's like he knows, it's like a standard judges you, an ideal. It's like, I'm a pastor of a church, and he knows that he's had a 12% glass of wine like every dinner with his wife when they go to a restaurant. Understand? Like that level or near it. Like possibly, okay? It's like, what I would say surely, I would say 90% chance it hasn't been 10 months within this rocks about a drop of alcohol. Like a light beer that's like 2.5%, or a glass of wine 12% after dinner at least once when his wife comes to a restaurant or something like this. So I don't believe that he has abstained from alcohol to the level that I have for the last 10 months. Meaning not a drop of alcohol for 10 months. And they're just like, oh, I'm a Christian pastor. And this target of my narcissistic abuse, being one of my narcissistic abuser, he tells the truth. That he hasn't had a drop of alcohol for 10 months. As a Christian, he committed to quit drinking. And 10 months out of 12 now, I didn't have a drop of alcohol. Okay? And I know that when I say that most people who tell you how many months it's been since they quit drinking, they're alcoholics, like reformed. They're people who quit drinking alcohol. But that's not me. I wasn't an alcoholic before quitting. I took a challenge, like a 4 year sober, which is like the baby level. Before I took 4 years sober, it's like, Bert Kreischer and Joe Rogan, they would have an Orange Shafir Sober October. It's like once a year for October, they're committing to, we're all being sober, not getting drunk for October or something like this. And so it'd be like that, where it's like you make a commitment to not do something for a given amount of time. And then he comes out there. And here's another thing. This is also part of the puzzle. So the public available stuff is already enough. But after finish the live stream, the short here, I go, it's like, I have a moment where I go, yeah, it's like people are going to think that I'm lying. As I'm looking at my own short, it's like, yeah, a lot of Christians be like, he's lying. When I tell them, a lot of people go like, yeah, he's lying. Okay. Like privately like this. And the system listens to you if you told me, or they spy on it. There's part of they can customize harassment, or they can have pastors. It's not a part of common tactic from pastors. Where something I say or do in the privacy of my home, on a video call, phone call with my wife or mom or something like this, they will use that and reference that. That's a subtle harassment tactic how videos can get. Meaning, you subscribe to Christian church, and then maybe there's like 3 weeks that you don't feel like the pastor is talking for the Gang Talking program. But it's like the 4th week, the sermon, they will like reference something that you said on the phone or you said out loud in your apartment. Understand? And that's a common tactic. One of many tactics they use code abuse. Like they will reference something that the target video listening, like dog abuse, will know there's a reference to something private, something personal, something they said or did in private. And you feel targeted, especially when you've been sensitized to it. It's not the first time. You might not even notice it the first time. And if a person is not targeted, will notice that it's like they might falsely interpret it. And this could be part of how these pastors manipulate Christians to make it think it's like the hand of God, Holy Spirit. See, the pastor talks about. Do you understand? So the same sell-out puppet pastors tied into the system that spies on everybody, they used what they spy on to like mess with the target. They knows that they're being spied on, strangers or comment on their personal life as a harassment tactic. They can use the same thing to manipulate Christians. They are not totally with those. They are not aware of everybody's being spied on and stuff, and their pastor is a puppet. Do you understand? It's like if I had hacked your computer, as an example, that person watching this, and I was a fucking gang-stalking, sellout, punk, pastor, Christian, okay? Okay? And it's like you subscribed to my channel yesterday, and I'm like Dennis Rokser or Andy Woods, one of the sellout pastors. It's like tied into the deep state that spies on everybody. And then they go, okay, I told video subscribed to yesterday, Mike. Okay. And they, let's say the person they shit their pants, let's say. It's like they had beans and just fucking shit their pants. Okay, excuse my French. Excuse you. Okay. So, and it's like a guy subscribe. It's something, let's say it's shameful, especially. And then I go, it's like, yeah. So a lot of Christians are so full of sin that they're pouring out their butthole with the diarrhea sins or something like this. And the guy will be like, I had a diarrhea yesterday. And he's insinuating, he's referencing something, a personal thing, and putting a gas and a spin on it. It's like, not only am I like commenting in a personal life that you had a diarrhea problem yesterday, that the people I take orders to fuck with you with know because they're listening in on you in your home. So that's already, it's like this guy's talk about my toilet business, and I feel violated, understand? On top of that, it's like a gaslighting spin, where it's like, I'm insinuating that you're super evil and wicked. See, demonization, where it's like, it's like, oh, I had that problem. And it's like, yeah, they're so full of sin that they're shitting themselves, something like this. Okay. Be like, oh, he's insinuating that he's referencing a shameful personal thing. Or me like shitting myself and be like, oh shit, I just shit myself. Okay. Do you understand? And then not that, it's as if it's not bad enough. It could be like, people are so sinful, a lot of Christians, that it's like they're pouring out their butthole with sins. They're shitting themselves. And the guy would be like, oh, not only is he commenting on my personal life, he's also add like a gas and a spin to it. It's like, and you are full of sin. See, it's like you're like just a vessel of evil. Okay, and the guy feel dehumanized, demonized. by a person that is already, they know this, like they're using that you're evil to justify the abuse. See? And it's like, oh, dehumanization, that's not dehumanization, give another one. And this is how sad it can be. Where it's like, if you had that problem yesterday, like you have told the video and I was the pastor who was a fucking puppet. And it's like, you subscribed to me yesterday, my hand told me next video working a reference to Christians being so sinful that they crap in themselves, okay? And then the guy was crap himself yesterday, subscribe to my channel, and then I go, some Christians out here, they're so sinful that they crap in themselves. And the guy will go, he will know. It's like, oh, he's saying that about me. He's referencing about something that happened yesterday in my life, I crap myself. And then putting a spin on it, there's like, and I'm demon possessed, like full of evil sin or something like this. This is how sad it can be. And I could make that in this live stream. Some Christians out here, it's like they're so full of sin, you expect it to come out of any open orifice and stuff like that. They're just crap in this. It's almost like it's like some Christians are so full of sin, you expect it to just rip a wet fart full of sin at any moment now. And the guy will be like, oh, he feels hits it, the shoe will fit. But to other people, might look at Mike is just making dad jokes, having dry humor, trying to be funny, and it's like, as he's preaching, make some jokes, okay? And for other people, to be like, oh, the guy has bad humor, dry humor, or it's just trying to be funny. But the person who's hearing it, that person has like the missing piece of the puzzle, or their personal experience, they'll be able to connect the dots and be like, they told me. Especially if it's a pattern where they've been a target individual Christian for years, and this happens all the time. So you've been sensitized to it. Sensitized doesn't mean that it's like, if they've been worked to sensitized, that means that you're sensitive like little babies break down crying. Sensitization just means that you will detect things, okay? The thresholds, like detection of certain things, you detect things easier. So it's like, if you like the program in the target's harassment, we'll use themes, where it's like, let's have the perps that show up around them in the shopping wear red baseball hats, like this next week. So like every time the target goes out, there's perps, there's like a new theme where like the perps are wearing like a red hat or something like this. And the person knows that a lot of times the people that show up where I am and do other things, their behavior will indicate that they're a gang stalker that was sent to mess with me. There's a new pattern, like a lot of them, they started wearing red now. It's kind of like a color theme. And then after you notice that, now you've been sensitized, so it's easier for them to make feel mess with by some YouTube you subscribe to. They never wears baseball hats. Suddenly he's wearing a red baseball hat in the Sunday on the channel you subscribe to. It'd be like, oh, that's the first indication that he might be put up there after I subscribe to him to start doing subtle things to make me fuck with. And it could be something that he says in the next video. So one of the tactics that they use, the gangster, and to clarify this, because I want to be careful, because I don't really give a shit, okay? Now, for targets out there, here's the point. It's not that the target has to do something shameful and wrong for the personal references psychological warfare to work. It's just for the unaware person, it might be easy to get the point across how you might feel messed with, to use like a negative example. It doesn't have to be that they're referencing something bad you did in private for you to feel messed with. It can be something that you did and just commenting on your personal life will make you feel harassed. Especially if they comment on something and put a gaslighting spin on it. Understand? Do you understand? It'd be like, if the pastor, you're married with children, psych, okay? The tests are back, you're married with children, okay? And you're the descendant of a Nigerian prince. And I just need you to help me to give me a PIN code to your bank account so I can transfer my wealth from Nigeria to your bank account. And you get a 90% profit or something like this. Okay, I'm being facetious, but I hate this like scams. So anyway, support. Yeah. So anyway, support. That's like a good old Nigerian scam. I also have a bridge to sell you, where it's like you send me $100,000 and I can print out the deed to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. And once you have this deed, I mail it to you. Now you can set up like a booth and because you own it now, and you had the right to charge passes by put out a roadblock and go, guy, give me 10, like $1 to pass my roadblock, and they give you $1 and it goes up because you own it, so you can use it, you can cordon it off, you can have a toll booth, but you own the bridge now. Okay, and it's all you need to send me is 100,000 US dollars, cold hard cash in the mail, or gold. Oh no, okay, or near offer, meaning the same monetary amount has to be equal to that much, but it could be in silver coins, gold coins, or gold bullion, okay, or even like a banknote, okay. I prefer in gold bullion. And I don't want like the run-of-the-mill, watered-down Gentile gold. I want like the purest, like the 100% that the Jews have in like the catacombs, understand? Because everybody knows. There's like what they have for like the goyim. It's like the Jews that control the money supply. It's like they have like they've got enough conditions to set for breadcrumbs. It's like 99.99 Credit Suisse standard. And people think that's like the highest level. No, that's just like the goy slop gold. Whereas the Jews, they have like a secret underground currency. Where Jews, they have like the 100% gold stamped with a menorah. And also like a Star of David and a menorah on it. And it says 100% pure gold, understand? So it's like that's the goal that I'm looking for, okay? So I'm being facetious, but here's the point. We got a bit sidetracked, but here's the thing. Never let a good story interrupt a bad joke, okay? So here's the point. Okay, it's like an important topic interrupt some more or less entertaining jokes. So okay, anyway, that's the point. Yeah, so that's all retorting tactics, and it doesn't have to be something shameful. It doesn't have to be something that is like you did that's wrong for the target to feel mess with. Okay, it could be just people commonly in personal life. Generally, if all they did was like accurately relaying things you're doing in private, none of which are bad. If they would only comment like good things, they would be like proud or something like this. It will still mess with you. But understand? Now, a lot of times it will be referencing something with a spin on it. So it'd be like Mike Sartoned video makes a video about 10 months sober now. 4 years sober after 10 months sober now, drop alcohol. And then Dennis Rokser will do a little insinuate that I'm lying and go like, yeah, this is like Christian Anonymous. How long since you lied? And it goes like 4 months, and that's another lie. So it's sadly work to put a perception filter in the viewers if they come across my video to kind of subconsciously perceive me as a liar because it's an attractive quality. So to decrease my influence in his viewers while I have videos exposing him, for example, to be like trying to ever so subtly perception manage them. So somebody comes across my video because Dennis Rocks is a scumbag, might be like, here, 10 months sober. That might be something to get him to be like, what's your secret, Mike? I'm a Christian. I've been trying to quit some things. Can you help me out? And it'd be like, yeah, sure. Here's how I did it. Oh, that it's like now I'm being looked at as a leader, and instead of Dennis Rokser that can't truthfully say in a testimony, Pastor Dennis Rokser here, it's been X amount of months, not a drop of alcohol. See? And do you understand? He'd have to lie, most likely. And I don't know 100%. I might feel in my spirit, okay, that it's like a lot of times it's like your pair recognition statistics might just feel like intuition or gut feeling. But here's the point. So I would bet, if I had to bet one or the other, I'd rather bet that Dennis Rokser has had more than one drop of alcohol the last 10 months than that he didn't. Okay? Meaning, and it doesn't have to be for me to be superior to him, that he's been an alcoholic secretly and like drinking a quart of whiskey every day for it to be like, do you understand? It could be that he's just once a week on Saturday evening goes to a restaurant as a parent with his wife. It's like once a week he takes his wife to a restaurant. Understand? There's married couples to have like habits. It's like once a week in the weekend they take the wife to a restaurant where they have like a violin playing and some guy with a towel, kind of like traditional, and they have like, here's tonight's wine or something, you understand? So it's not that you have to be an alcoholic to have more than a drop of alcohol, okay? It's not all nothing. If a person can't say that they didn't have a drop of alcohol for 10 months, that means they're like a raging alcoholic all of a sudden. But my point is this. I personally would bet that Dennis Rokser has had more than one drop of alcohol the last 10 months, which means I see him speak the truth that I didn't. He likely to feel like this guy's better than me somehow. And I would not be surprised if he has a premium membership on Pornhub, like the streaming website, where you can look at like a live cam or like a terrarium. You know how they have zoos and stuff, and sometimes a bird cam, and they have like these filthy websites where you can look at videos and live streams of like an aquarium, and like a goldfish in one of them, and it's like prawn in the other one. And some guys are sitting there tickling themselves and look at the prawn, understand? And it makes them feel good. Afterwards, it makes them feel bad. I feel shame like they wasted 3 hours of their life staring like a prawn in a fish tank or something like this. And it's like, understand? Nice support. And then his wife, there's after the wife goes to the credit card. It's like, who bought this like Pornhub premium subscription, free unlimited 4K prawn viewer membership? Okay. And it's like, I don't know. He goes, what? Is this a what? And then his wife goes, it says signed Dennis Rokser, sent me a picture of his signature. Yeah, this is your signature. And he got like a picture of you as society or something like this. He goes, I said, I don't know. It's like, I don't know who it was. Eddie Woods was staying over the weekend, and he in the guest room. And he possibly, he was the guy. He threw him under the bus like this. If he needed to throw another Christian under the bus to save his own skin, I feel like he's the type of guy that would just unhesitated to be like, yeah, this guy, understand? So I support, whatever. So yeah. So my point is this: that's how toys are messed with. One of many ways. Okay. Personal, referencing personal stuff, and to make it even easier for people that are hard of hearing and thinking, basically low perception. It's like if and sometimes like I use when I explain things myself as an analogy, and then it gets uncomfortable. It's almost a disclaimer. It's like obviously I wouldn't do that. Okay. Now here's the point. Now if I would hack your computer, okay, like if you imagine you have and it's like I had hacked your computer, your phone, everything, like bug, like I was the FBI level in the movies. It was like there's a bug in your phone, in your walls. So. And it's like, you watch this video, and then yesterday, you were brushing your teeth, and there was something like pattern breaking, where it's like, you look at your tongue and go, honey, I think I might have like thrush. I think my tongue is real nasty. Come look at this, honey. And it's like rare that you like, okay, so it's both like it's showing it, so if there be a camera in the bath so they can see it, and then they're hearing it, like you hear my voice right now, because your wife has a phone in her pocket, you got a laptop somewhere, so within microphone range you're saying this, okay? And it's like, I got like some real, and your wife goes, oh yeah, you got real bad breath and like a white coat on your tongue. You got some fungal thing going on. And then that happened 4 hours ago, okay? And then it turned into the Mike Saw Live video. And I go, some of these Christians, they're so demon infested that the tongue is turned white and they stink like Satan's butthole out of their mouth right now. And it's like 3 hours ago, this happened in your life. You described to me for a week, and I haven't been doing this type of stuff until now. But it's like, now the pattern starts. It's like this morning process, it's like you notice your tongue is turned white, and you smell bad, and you go, wife, can you come smell my tongue? Okay, okay. And she goes, oh, this one is sexy. Okay. But it's like, it's a point. So it begins, understand? He's got some weird kink now. He wants me to smell his tongue in the morning. But anyway, it's a point. So it's like, whatever. So it's like, the wife comes, yeah, he smells really bad and he's all white. Okay. It's a powerful stench. And then the guy, later on, it's like, you stop watching my videos. And I go, yeah, some people out here, they are Christians. They're so demon infested that the tongue has turned white. So you expect, some people are demon infested, you expect the tongue will turn white and they smell like sulfur out of the mouth, something like this. Do you understand how that's a reference to something that happened in your personal life that to other people it can look like a normal joke or just a bad analogy. But to the person that had this experience 24 hours before clicking this live stream, they will feel targeted. See? And if it's one time, that's one thing. But if this is a pattern in your life where it keeps happening, you told the video, you subscribe to a Christian ministry channel, if you're a Christian. And I would be surprised if you were Muslim and you subscribe to Muslim YouTubers, imams, whoever it is, that they're fine. Muslim imams there, they might do too. Okay. If you're a vegan YouTuber, it's like, and you're the guy who subscribes to vegan YouTube channels, you're gonna get at least one of these people to start messing with you in the live streams or videos, like subtle stuff. Understand? So anyway, it's the point. Gang stalking is not unique to Christians. So, and one of the reasons is they want to isolate from your peers. So if you're a vegan, they want to make sure that you don't have a community, a support network, even online, of like other like-minded people. So there's going to be more of like an emphasis to have a smear campaign to isolate you from other people or your peers, meaning a vegan against other vegans. And also you'll be more hurt by abuse from your peers. Understand? It's like if you're a member of a church and your pastor starts with narcissistic abuse all of a sudden, they will fuck with you more than your boss, who you know is like a pro-LGBTQ atheist. And it's like, doesn't like Christians. And if he starts fucking with you and you're a Christian, you kind of half expect that. But it's like, if your pastor is like, I'm here to teach you how to be a good Christian and I love you all and stuff, and then suddenly he starts messing with you in despicable ways, that will mess with you more. So anyway, I left happenstance decide when my live training stream finished. Before this, I made a stream and I tied a little string, a little bottle to that, and I was just training myself and not make it coachy, but a way that you can. So one thing I do on my YouTube channel is knife fighting, martial arts training, okay, and I've also been making videos where it's like, here's how you can get better at knife fighting martial arts. And one of the simple things is a ball on string. So it could be a tennis ball. I know it doesn't have to be a punching bag where you have a strong hook. All you need is like a hook, okay, that I used to hang a light bulb or something like this. And like a shoestring or paracord or whatever, some kind of twine, okay. And then there's a variety of things you can hang from it. A tennis ball, a water bottle made from plastic, or an empty plastic supplement bottle, and it's suspended from there. And you can use it for practicing knife fighting. It can also be used to practice boxing, Muay Thai and stuff. So one of the benefits of, when I talk about knife fighting, nothing that I do requires being rich, okay? I'm on disability, okay? I'm on disability. Nothing that I do like requires being rich. It's not like, oh, it's like when I'm gonna be coaching, I go to gym and make my knife fighting training instructor videos, like how you should train according to Mike's out to get better. And you need to go to a gym that has all these things and a sparring partner, and all these different things. And it really, you shouldn't need to have everything set up. You shouldn't need all these things. So as I was exercising, I ended it after I cut the string. So there's like different types of accuracy. So not only am I practicing hitting the bottle, but at the same time, I'm not looking to hit the string because all it takes is like light to connect with the string bonds for it to be cut off, and then playtime's over. So it's like both hitting this but not missing and hitting the string because it will cut it off. And that's a simple thing you can do to get better at martial arts. If it's stick fighting or knife fighting or boxing or Muay Thai, something that simple, just hanging something from the ceiling. If there's an empty water bottle, plastic, or a tennis ball, or an empty supplement bottle, for example, you can use that with a training knife. So remember, when you see me do training with actual knives on my YouTube channel, permanent disclaimer for the future too. Anytime if you see me and I forget to do disclaimer, using real knives as I'm training, or what appears to be real knives, okay. For you, I recommend you to use training knives, okay. So anyway, Yeah, so I won't be surprised if Dennis Rokser narcissistically feels inferior, and that type of person gets targeted too. People that have more influence than others, and it's like these puppet shells can be outshined by you and things like this. But there's certain things that make you more dangerous as a target individual than others. Here's another thing, general TI truth. Every target individual is a potential whistleblower. So expect to be treated by the program as a potential whistleblower. You know why? Because if you're a target individual, you're being targeted with this program. And you're being bloody murdered, and you will realize that at some point in time. This is going to keep targeting ways that could kill you, and will keep targeting you and make you die faster at best. Okay? Due to premature aging and stuff like this. Just stress in of itself, like extreme stress that program goes to inflict upon you with premature age and complex immune systems and such like this. So basically my point is this. Total individuals are faced with a survival threat, an existential threat. That where there's people working to destroy their life and communicating threats of murder and in the psychological warfare. And a lot of times might have had close calls where they felt like they almost died from the thought, like, oh, I could have died from this thing before they did. They looked like they can't make them an accident in the supermarket or something like this. So eventually people are being bloody murdered end up crying bloody murder generally. Okay? Which means whistleblower. A lot of TIs will get their forwards like they feel motivated to be like make a YouTube or Facebook post. I'm a targeted individual. Okay. If I go missing, I got murdered or something. There's some kind of thing of speaking up. Which means the program is not purely reactive. It's like the deep state that is doing this stuff. It's a deep state that is doing this stuff. So it's like it's not that how the program operates on a target. It's by sitting and watching what you do and then responding to everything. Oh, they did this, now we had to react in this way or respond. No, they predict things, they work to make you future, understand? Where it's like we work to destabilize the target individual more and more psychological over time. And then we keep working to give them PTSD, CPTSD with the targeting tactics. Now they have CPTSD, PTSD. Now we switch to triggering the CPTSD in public and make them feel like they're in danger to hope that they will lash out and freak out in public, and we can go, this guy's nuts, like acting out in the supermarket, put him in the psych ward. Where they might take you out and like Epstein you, like unalive you in there. They'll take you out in there some way. And if not, it's like hopefully get you falsely diagnosed as crazy if you're in the psych ward. So anyways, the point. Being extremely stressed in of itself is not a proof of insanity. Okay? Being extremely stressed, so it's not in of itself, it shouldn't be, that if you show up in the psych ward and you're just super stressed and anxious and tense, they say, oh, this guy is definitely paranoid schizophrenic because they're anxious and stressed. No, it's a stress state coupled with delusional ideation. Okay? Which means you can be stressed because you're in a psych ward where people are in here for trying to kill themselves, other people, and you are maybe just in a trauma where you got ripped up out of your house in the middle of the night, taken by cops unexpected to psych ward, it's a new environment, and there's like people in here that have mental health problems, and just that can make a person be like on edge and stressed, similar to like I guess being like a guy first day in prison or something like this. Okay. So that is not like, it shouldn't be that if you're taught video and you end up in the psych ward just like stressed and tense, this like guy's definitely crazy, paranoid schizophrenic. Okay. The issue is if you're stressed and you're saying things that either are crazy for real or sound really crazy and kind of line up with the DSM 666, I mean 4 or 5 or whatever, okay? They'll be like, they put a chip in my brain. So if you show up in the psych ward being stressed, and then somebody asks you how you doing, what is you seem to be stressed, is it something you yes, I got a chip in my brain or something like this. Now that, okay, now you're really in trouble. Now I don't have to lie to say that this guy showed up in the psych ward showing clear signs of real mental illness, okay? You don't have to lie there. we have the doctor go, whatever this guy says, if he's completely saying right that he's paranoid, and keep him in there, they don't have to go to that extent. So there's another risk that I will tell you about if it's on video. There is a very real risk for total videos participating in their own discreditation. There is an effort to deceive you, for video, into believing crazy, unearthly, crazy talk. So there's people like Scott Snitzer, Catherine Horner. Scott Snitzer is not a YouTuber anymore, but he used to be. But there's a lot of TI support people on YouTube that like fake and be like me. Like a guy who's a real TI and intermittently making videos, like how to deal with targeting, some coaching advice. Here's things that I've learned the hard way and stuff like this. So there's people out here that are like, yeah, okay, you found my channel. Like Mike's live TI survival coaching. Okay. Yeah, and then it's like, yeah, they're harassing the supermarket, the perps, or come to your personal life. Now, how they're doing it, the perps have a chip in their brain, and the satellites are beaming voices into their heads and making them hear voices that they speak out, and that's how you get targeted or something like this. Now, if they can tell you on something like this, that's how the directed conversation works around you, and you believe that, and you like, the base that you report of is the truth, that you know you're part of a secret program to mess with you. But if there's a lot of untruths in your testimony that is for real crazy stuff and not real, you're in trouble. So it's better to be cautious and keep your personal theories to yourself and deal with points of certainty in your public speaking. That's a general rule of thumb. I mean, if I had been like, you know what, devil's advocate, what if these crazy talkateers are right that some kind of directed ending weapons are used on me? Okay. And it's like kind of to prove them wrong, or just as a experiment, let's not make a closet and cover it with tinfoil, and then get inside and close the door and just see if I feel different, something like this. Understand? And it'd be like, no, I don't feel any difference. Understand? It's like there's science. Now here's the point. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, you need to invest your money in supplements and not rolls of tinfoil. Now, I can't teach a lot of trick here if it's on video. Speak of science, I can teach how to craft an in effect Faraday cage. Something simple, do it yourself, that will have the same effect as a Faraday cage. If you don't know what a Faraday cage is, it blocks reception. When I talk about dark end weapons now, we talk about keep the program for you to listen into your phone. Because in this day and age, they can, even if I turn off my phone, they can listen into my microphone, even if my phone is turned off. Okay? So it's like, if I want to like just sit and talk out loud and pause and pro and be like, yeah, I was really hurt that time, but you know, I made it through for this. And it's like, this is something, or talking to someone that I don't want the program to be able to listen in on. I just don't feel comfortable. And I want to ensure, like a skiff or something, I want to ensure that it's like, part of it is entering into environment that's sure to not have bugs, listening devices. Part of it is make sure that you don't bring anything in there. So you have to enter into environment that you have a reasonable degree of certainty that there's nothing in here in the environment that can be listened to me. Step one. Step two, I don't bring anything in the environment that can be listened to me. So if you would have, like for example, I can teach you how to stop the program for you to listen to your phone. Okay, so basically it's this simple. If you have a stainless steel pot with a metal lid, and you put your phone in there close to the lid, and you wait, okay? You wait a good 30 to 90 seconds, minimum 30, up to 90. And then you open it and turn it on, and you see if it's not 0 bars, where it lost reception completely entirely. Why? Because that's in effect a Faraday cage. It's completely enclosed in a conductive material, metal, which is like a Faraday cage. It doesn't have to be a mosquito net, but there's no human they need to be able to breathe. Or electronics require like air transfer circulation or something like this, like overheating human. Okay. I mean, if you would have the phone in there, it's gonna be like a hot pocket where it warms up the phone if you haven't been using it for a while. But that's a simple way. Another way to do it is get a shoebox, and then you cover that in tin foil. Which like just use the word tin foil to talk about this borderline. It's like edgy, okay. But here's the point. Another way to get a shoebox, and then you cover it like gift wrapping with tin foil, and then you close the lid with your phone in there. And you test it too to verify the bars go to 0. And that will block reception. That will block your phone from being able to send things and your phone from being able to receive things. So that's in effect a fabrication. So this is a metal object, okay? If I were to fit a phone and have a metal lid for it, hermetically sealed, I mean it has to be completely closed. That can block the reception. So it has to be a conductive metal, which is why if you make a threaded cage, you use either copper mesh or stainless steel, typically. So it has to be a conductive metal. Now this is not for direct-ended weapons. This is in case you need to stop the program to listen in through your phone. Okay. Another thing that can be done for counter surveillance purposes is to utilize sounds. Okay. Where, for example, simply, I have an air purifier next to my bed, or if you have a box fan. If you have a box fan, like this is simple low tech. If you have a box fan and you put your phone on the box fan, the microphone is going to be close like that's going to overpower it, which means if you here's the noise source in between the microphone and you, and you're just saying something here that can make it real hard for like the audio technician to hear what you do. And it might have to have some algorithm which is like working to edit and isolate out and things like this. But basically that can be a low-tech, simple solution to make it harder for people to listen in through if you don't have the threaded cage option. Okay? Meaning, as an example, you can use noise to drown out another noise. So here's a beam of water, okay? And if I put that here, and then we're gonna do a test, so I'm gonna use the same volume, and then you can compare once there's a beam of water in between my mouth and the microphone, the difference in how hard it's together. I'm gonna maintain the same volume, and then I keep talking with it. And then if you can hear, it's a lot harder to get to hear it, and I maintain the same volume. So just something like that can make a big difference. Now we're getting into like counter surveillance tactics here, and there's so many ways to go about something. So one way to stop the program for listening through a microphone is to put your phone in a threaded cage. And a threaded cage, in effect, I like to say, because a threaded cage is a certain product, invention, model, and it's okay. Now, in effect, software does the same thing as a threaded cage does. That you can use to throw electronics in, and it's the same thing as they have on some like comedy performances where you have to put your phone as you enter or concerts into a bag. And that's a Faraday bag, basically. And that stops you from being able to use your phone there. So that you can't live stream the comedy set, special, or the concert or something like this. Okay? Because it blocks you from being able to receive and transmit things. Then also, if it's in fabric and put away somewhere else, you can. So what is the point? Now we're getting a little bit sidetracked here. So, I'm a taught individual, and one of the ways I get taught is by punk puppet pastor pussies. Okay, punk puppet. I learned this in seminary school. The five punk pussy, punk puppet pastor pieces of shit. Okay, see, like a good Christian boy. Okay, see, take that. Okay, and let's run to the Greek, bitch. Okay, I have a joke and burn and hit on these motherfuckers. So some of these pastors have retarded me. Burn those motherfuckers. Then it's Rokser and Andy Woods and this. It's like a pattern. A lot of Christian gang software ministries are not king days only. See, so it's like Dennis Rokser, Do the Bible Church, Andy Woods, Brandon Holthouse, all pastors that I've seen. After I come across the channel, start checking out that they start talking for the program in previously mentioned ways, and I just mentioned one way primarily, like reference stuff. They're not King James only. And King James only church sometimes like to run to the Greek, which like, do you understand? Like the way that I teach, if I'm gonna teach something, you go like mainly, okay. It's gonna be like quote the Bible verse, King James Bible verse, and then go like, well, some people don't understand it. So it's like, if you don't understand what that word means, here's what it means, and explain what the word means. See? So it's not changing the word of God, but it's some people, if I go, it repented the Lord of the evil or something like this. Okay? And it's like, which means God changed his mind. Okay? And some people, if they hear the word repented, they say they don't understand what that means. They don't hear it used in common language. It's like a baby Christ just so in the Bible. They might not have heard the use repented yet. And they might only have heard it from heretics on YouTube saying, repent of your sins to get saved, something like this. So you go, the Lord, the Bible says, repented, Lord of the evil, something like this. Here's what repentance means, just to change your mind. Now, some pastors, they're not King James only, they love to run to the freaking Greek, where it's like faith, pistou, or something like this. So I have a joke, some of these pastors look like they need to run to Greece. Andy Woods and Dennis Rokser and Tom Stegall. Since you love to run to the Greeks so much, why don't you run to Greece? And you can send me money so I can buy a printer, and I print out a gospel tract, like 1,000 of them, and then I ship it to you, and you pay for the shipping. And then you commit to running from Duluth, Minnesota, with this stack of 1,000 gospel tracts, and hand it out to people who come across along the road. They run all the way to Greece doing that. Okay, and then back again. And you can take Tom Levy with you on the journey too. Okay, and I reckon that he should add a middle name Sue, Tom Sue, and he can run around town in Greece being Tom Sue Levy. Okay, and run around there and look for people to sue and argue about like semantics. It's like, what does this mean in the Greek? It's like Tom Levy goes, yes, I murdered a person. And then the FBI comes, have your tape admit to murder somebody. And he goes, what I mean by murder in the Greek, the word murder has 4 different meanings. It's got, and I meant like the 4th instance that means, wanted them to die, but not being involved in the very act. Like this, okay, I don't know. But here's the point. Yeah, so my point is this. I don't have time for this stupid shit, understand? So it's like, if you're a total video, take my advice. If you're not a total video, take my advice. It's pretty simple. If you're a total video, take my advice. If you're not a total video, take my advice. And there's going to be some advice that's specific to total videos, which is the advice that total video should take. And there's some general advice that is to every person. Looks like the kid figured out how to use the water slide as a drum now. There's no turning back. They figured out how to make music out of it. Maybe they got bored just running up and sliding down, and they figured out they can use it to make music. Yeah, so anyway, the knife fighting stuff is on YouTube and not on TikTok, because it's once again like a second-class citizen, where it's like, I guess it's due to the Bible Church, the shield masters are afraid of being exposed, so they're working to shut down my TikTok and try to give me strikes for bullshit reasons. Because it's like, I've had things happen on TikTok where I have a video pulled for smoking a cigarette on camera. And then if I search smoking cigarette on TikTok, I see people, the whole video is focused on that. It's like enjoying a smoke while waiting for my cab or something like this. And then me, it was like a video where in the middle of it, I'm talking about something and I smoke, and I'm not, the video is more like promoting the act, or make it sound cool, or like highlighting that they smoke on camera right now. And I don't see these people get pulled. Another thing is, after I started doing free help with coaching, knife fighting, and using rubber training knives with disclaimers, then going like, yeah, so I'm gonna talk about knife fighting martial art. Is it real? Like, dude, these are safe training knives, and don't try this at home. If you would use training knives, not real ones. And it's like circle that this is a good training drill, and I get like a video pro by TikTok, so that there's no more videos. Anything I change, or anything I want to do involving weapons, I do that on YouTube or Rumble or elsewhere. And on TikTok, it's only if I want to do things there, it'll be only kicks and punches and elbow strikes and this. Which means not even fake weapons. Never done moment. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, Dennis Rokser is a gang stalking pastor, and I talked about one of many ways that they target me, and it's narcissistic, always abuse, and other tactics. So basically, the point is this: if I hacked your computer and I started commenting my life on your recent personal activity, you feel harassed and violated intensely. So, do you understand? I mean, if you finish this, and whenever next time you're gonna sleep, it's like I don't know, you fart. It's like you just try to sleep and you're farting all night, and you have your phone in the same room. And then the next day I'm here, and it's like, yeah, some people are so full of shit that it's like I picture it as they're trying to sleep, they're falling up a storm or something like this. And if it's like one time, and you're talking to video and you're used to this happening to you as a harassment tactic, and then it's like every time you tune in, there's going to be another thing where I'm commenting on something in your private life with false liability and covering up where people that are not you can tell that somebody's commenting on somebody's personal life, and then with a sudden gaslight and spin on it. Okay. And these pastors are sellouts. And I don't pray that God will give them mercy. I pray that God will withhold mercy from them. And that God will afflict them. And yeah. So I'm a part of gang stalking. In this neighborhood, there's gang stalking going on. If I go on the back and have a smoke, these people get sent out to do visual harassment skits, sometimes direct conversation, where it's like they get told to put on something, wear something, say something, and it's called street theater, direct speech. And there's different flavors and types of that. It's not that the only harassment tactics that come in your personal life. There's like one common tactic or many. So it can be baseline common in your personal life, makes you feel harassed, as it should. You shouldn't be happy about that. Secondly, they will a lot of times cover your personal life and put a gaslighting spin on it. Do you understand? Like, if it's true that I was falling up a storm like for one life, I walk around here, and the gang stalking program is listening to my microphones, they understand. If I just end the session by and I sit here and I go, okay, say, they will go, oh, he just ripped the fox. They can hear him like you can hear me right now. And then next time I go live, there'll be somebody, Might look like you hello, sir, for the or something like this. So notice how they can look like innocent trolling. A cyberstalker is sent in, where it's like, I end this, okay, bye, Michael, live later. And then it's like after I end the live stream, it's like, I stop forwarding, okay. And then I go live again, and it's a cyberstalker shows up. Hello, sir, photo lord, or something like this. And it looks like a kind of like just silly, goofy, general trolling behavior. Just say something stupid that looks insulting and like they're messing with you, okay? But if with your personal experience, it's like this person is a cyberstalker. Fly Michael got sent here to push my buttons, but talk about something that recently had happened. Other times I use something that is like extra private as an example to try to point home. It's not that it's only like shameful things that you do in public or something that you'd be ashamed of that are not shameful, which is possible to have shame about things that are not shameful inherently. So anyways, the point. It can be just conquering life and putting a gas tank spin on it. So but let's use a non-silly example. So let's say you're a viewer to the video. I'm a gang stalking per pint piece of shit pussy pastor. Okay. Okay. And then it's like you stop watching, you get a phone call, and you watch the phone, and it's your grandmother. Psych, it's your grandma, and she calls her the phone, and she goes, "I'm your fault." No, she goes, "Hey, my bastard grandchild, okay, my fucking bastard." Your grandmother is like, it's like some kind of, I don't know what she's, but she's like, "Hey, bitch." Also, it's just her grandma. She said, "Hello, girls. Hello, bitch. You pug piece of shit." It's grandma again, okay? You bastard, or something like this. It's like, whatever, it doesn't have to be like that, but it's like a kind of normal standard issue rather than being grandmother, okay? The type of girl, the woman that doesn't cast in conversation. And she goes, "Hello, my bastard grandson." Okay, hello, my grandson. And you go, "Hey, how you doing, grandma?" "Well, I'm worried. My cat, you know, I love the cat, okay? And my cat has gone missing, and it didn't come home. I think it might have been hit by a car or something." And then, let's say you have been like thinking about and talk about how the program likes to target pets of you or even loved ones to mess with you psychologically. A lot of times preceded by a threat. Understand? It's like accidents happen so easy, and then like the next week you talk to somebody, no, a loved one, be like, "Oh, their cat got hit by a car," or something like this. See? The program will be like, "It's in a veiled threat." It's like accidents happen so easy. Okay? And then somebody you know or their pet has an accident within a week. This is the type of psychological warfare you're dealing with. Okay? We told you we don't. So let's say you talk to grandma, you end this live stream, you get a call, you go away, start watching the stream, and then grandma says, "I'm worried about my cat that went missing." And you start thinking and say, "You know what, I'm a told video. I won't be surprised if the program poisoned your cat when it's outside or took it out somehow." Because for me to hear it and be like, "Oh, they murdered my grandmother's cat," okay, that's here close to home. And maybe next is murdering grandmother, say, okay? Because it shows psychopath behavior and will to hurt innocent third parties for psychological detrimental effect on the target, okay? So it's not like, well, the cat didn't do anything, we're not going to just murder a cat. It's like, well, fuck with the target video if you murder an animal. Yeah, so murder an animal to kind of traumatize them to some extent, okay? And it's not just the thing, it's the potential of further things, like escalation. So here's the point. So let's say you're taught a video and you get a call and you go, stop watching the stream, tune on and get a call from grandma. You go, "Hey, how you doing, grandson?" You go, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Yeah, my cat, I'm worried my cat went missing. It's been gone for 12 hours now." And you think and you say, "I would be surprised if the gang stalker probably tell you about kill your cat. They poison your cat when it's outside, or they shot it, or they hit it with a car," or something like this. For me to hear this and be mess with it. And then you go, it's like, "I can't do anything about this, grandma. I'm not a state. I can't come help you look for it, okay? But if you want, I can post something from my Facebook. Maybe it's like missing cat in a picture. Send me a picture of a cat. I can post something like a missing cat. Okay? So let's say that's what happened. And you come back and be like, "Okay, I'm gonna go back to watching Mike's house live stream." And then it's like, this is not like, in this scenario, this wouldn't be earplugs. This would be like Bluetooth earpiece where I have my hand there on a car, feeding me with lines to say if needed. Okay, they'd be like, they know when you got back, stop watching. They'd be like, yeah, so some people, they think they're Christians. Okay, they're really like witches and warlocks casting spells, and they've been playing around with magic, and it's making pets die around them or something like this. Yeah, I warn you, people. If you play with magic and people die around, it's your fault or something like this. And if animals die around, it's your fault because you play with magic or something like this. It's like most Christians gonna have something they did. They possibly feel like it's magic, like reading the horoscopes in the morning commute, in the newspaper, or or like watching an ad of a tarot seance lady. And then some people can be like, they feel maybe I've been dabbling back. I watched an ad yesterday. I didn't skip it right away. It was some woman with this crystal ball talking about my future, and I kind of watched it for a few seconds. Maybe that counts as being one of the magic some stuff. Do you understand? So it could be like mindfuck upon mindfuck. It's like doing bad things, blaming you, or trying to get you to blame yourself for the bad thing that they did. And it's like gaslighting. It's like it's your fault. They made something bad happen. They tell you it's your fault somehow. And it's also demonizing you somehow. Okay? And it's commenting on your personal life at the same time. Do you understand how the same thing can be different things at the same time? Where it can be commenting on something in your private life, something recent, a conversation, putting like like maxing out, where it's like the cat thing. It'd be like, first of all, it's commenting on your personal life. Secondly, it's blaming you for the thing that happened, for extra like trauma impact. If they can succeed with it, get you to blame yourself. Third, it's like demonization, where it's like, oh, maybe I'm in some kind of doing something demonic, stuff like this, and like all kinds of stuff. And it can be so subtle. It can be so subtle. It can be so subtle. And it happens all the time. It happens all the time. And this gang stalking boy is not just narcissistic abuse, it's narcissistic psychopathic abuse. And Christian pastors do look Bible church that is Rokser in the woods and stuff. They have little blood on their hands, for some concern. They have blood on their hands. And God will require it. That's another thing. I'm not a punching bag, meaning a punching bag. I've had it in gas standing. It's like, this is the type of stuff. If you're a Christian and you're long suffering, and you've had long track record of being meek, long suffering, share yourself with long is kind. So it's like you're around people provoking you, and you've had a long track record of not using whatever power you may have to get back at them to do it. And you'd be like long suffering, patient, and kind of ignoring and like overlooking and kind of move on and kind of try to forget the things that people are doing around you to make you feel mess with. Then the program be like, well, now it's not, it's like we don't want this to be like, oh, God is helping me to deal with this. Okay, no, it's like you're a pussy coward because you're letting people mess with you the same problem. So if you don't respond aggressively and you're responding the Christian way, where it's like you're not, it's like you're a lot of times you're around the purpose. It's like you're long suffering and kind, and despite the provocations that's out of. Then the same program be like, yeah, fine, Marks, but you're a pussy coward that won't stand up for yourself. You're weak, dominant, or something like this. Okay. And then if you get aggressive, like one at a time around the purpose, they can tell that you're like getting infuriated and like getting like reactively aggressive to some extent to be like, oh, you're a bad Christian. You're supposed to be kind and gentle. Understand? And the same thing that when you were like that, they would say that means you're a pussy coward. It's like not standing up for yourself, stuff like that. So there's so many things, which is why to survive this, here's a simple truth, okay, for Christians, non-Christians alike. People that have comfortable, safe lives can afford to be delusional. Okay, so one of the things that my hard life has afforded me, my life had been a war since childhood, totaled with different forms of abuse. is I haven't been able to afford being delusional and having maladaptive, ineffective coping mechanisms. I've had, do you understand? It's like a person that's alive after 36 years of like intense trauma and abuse of varying types, like escalating over time. Uh, and it's not like a nervous wreck with like PTSD and broken down and highly medicated like this. They must have figured out ways to operate that makes them not be destroyed by the targeting. They will destroy others. Do you understand? They must have figured out a way to end up being more resilient than you'd expect. If I go look at Shell Graham's YouTube channel, it's like a person that were in a relationship with a narcissist for 2-3 years, and they're writing, it's like 3 years after leaving the narc, I'm still working to recover and cure my depression and panic attacks or something like this. Okay. Whereas me, the abuse never stopped when I come attack for panic attacks. And I'm not walking around being defeated and like crying and miserable all the time. I believe I might have more joy and fulfillment than the average person in my life despite the targeting. And I'm in better shape with the expected cortisol PTSD stress weapon to make the man fat and out of shape and low T physique and low energy and sick and tired and stuff. And not that he will be improving his mental health and physical health while the targeting is going on. So apparently I've been figuring out ways to deal with this. And one of the secrets, basically, if I analyze it, I'm not a person to default to like telling myself lies to cope with reality, and going to things that make me feel good in the moment, but are just like a cope, okay, like an ineffective cope. And I like to classify things and divide. So this cope is typically used as like a lie somebody tells himself to take the edge off of reality. Whereas in reality, I would say this adaptive and maladaptive copes, this effective and non-effective. So there's basically copes like if I'm going through hell on earth and I go, well, it sucks right now, but I know I'll be in heaven at the end of the road and there'll be no bad feelings ever. So just toughen out. I can deal with this. This I can just hang in there and eventually I'll be in heaven. So this is not going to last forever, this bad feeling I'm feeling right now. Sooner or later, naturally, it can get better. And if not, if it gets worse and worse, just survive as long as I can, eventually I'll be in heaven. So that would be a coping with the truth. If you're a Christian, that's the truth. It's like, yes, things are hard right now, but the truth is eventually, I know where the end of the journey ends, I'll be in heaven, never feeling bad ever. So that's a truthful cope, where you're coping, quote unquote, with the truth, versus a maladaptive cope. It's like, I don't know, tell myself lies to deal with reality. So anyway, I'm taught extra hard, but incredibly hard because I'm incredibly dangerous to deep state psychopathic power units. They know that a person like me that can reach people and get an audience, they're just going to cause trouble for them. So I have to work to sabotage my influence, keep from reaching people, and keep working to sabotage and call those things that I do by running interference before us. The time it was last time I was live and I was going to call my wife, they turned off my internet, it looks like, because it's like panic interrupting the timing, because I have a stable internet connection, and I have my use the internet like 24/7 pretty much, and it's never like, it's not like a pattern where it's like several times a day my internet turns off, but it's like just when I was switching from finishing up the stream, I want to have my wife on to say hello to my viewers, and that's in the middle, like after she answers the video call, my internet connection dies. And it's not her internet connection or the reception, it's just the router got moved all of a sudden, type of thing. So people are involved in this program. It's like it's a scapegoating. So I'm a person who's a Christian and better than most people, morally, and force for good in society. And most people are abusing their own children and hurt their own children physically and raising them up to bad and bad for society, bad for the world, not part of the solution. And more toxic in our system. Yeah. But it's like the target of this program is like the people like the good guys, understand? They think they're the good guys. But the linchpin is that the same people like, yeah, we're not doing something wrong and all the things we're doing to you, because in this cult we tell ourselves that you're an evil person, and for the greater good we're talking about this ways. But like the attack shows the root because they have to hide it. They have to hide it. Understand? So it's like if I share the gospel, I don't have to hide it. If I win a soul, I'll tell you about it. Yesterday I won a soul. I won a Jew to the Lord. Okay. Now, if I did something like, I don't know, shit my pants, I'm unlikely to tell you about that on YouTube. Like, yesterday I shit my pants. Okay. So it's like if there's something that needs to be covered up, it's something that you're doing that's wrong or shameful or something. So the program will target you. But it's like this, the fact that they have to hide this shows that they're evil, doing something wrong. And I wouldn't be surprised if how it works to a Bible church, like the behind the scenes, where they talk about how to target me and things like this. They have the boiler room repairs, so they go in the boiler room and have secret conversations in there to keep themselves from being spied on, as they talk about the gang stalking activities they're going to do in the church. I won't be surprised. I'd like to get them in a boiler room one of these days and talk to them about some things. So anyway, that's the point. So here's the thing. That's another thing that I thought about, like purely hypothetical. In this day and age we have got ton of base something like this. Some of these perps that are flying monkeys, it's like if when they're with me, like in the room here, let's say there's like two plumbers that come and they start talking for the program and go, oh shit, these plumbers that came here, they're agents and they fuck with for the program. A lot of times they have Bluetooth earpieces, so in real time the hand is tell them, move to the right, say this. If not, they'll have like an app on the phone or something like this. So I do believe it is people that work for the programs, so-called perps, work for this state persecution program. If the CIA would scoop through the window and apprehend them and take them to Guantanamo Bay, subject them to like waterboard and enhanced interrogation tactics. Some of these people are able to give up actionable intelligence regarding, it's like somebody recruited them, told them what to do around the target, and they're gonna possibly have something on the person indicating involvement, like a physical object. And if not, they'll be able to give actionable intelligence on who recruited them, and it's certain things. It's like any person that's involved to the level that I can detect a certain type. I believe if the CIA would scoop them up and subject them to waterboarding, like enhanced interrogation tactics, hypothetically, they'd be able to give up actionable intelligence. Okay. Now, even though this program has worked to torture me psychologically and subject me to things that are torturous physically, like, oh, the target is allergic to perfume. Let's work to get perfume into his apartment and on him, which leads to him suffering intensely and not being able to sleep and going nuts and things like this, and inducing psychological anguish and things like this. That doesn't mean that I would like even play around with the idea of like thinking like how they deserve or something like this, obviously. So here's the point. But the point is this. It's like there's like a Nietzsche quote. If a man strives with monsters, he must take the heed that he himself has not become a monster. And if a man stares into the abyss stares back at him or something like this. Nietzsche. I think it's Nietzsche. Okay. So anyway, that's the point. Yeah, so anyway, I'm a Christian taught individual. And I've been taught for more than a decade with this. And I'm a Christian born. I can actually relate. I have a real life. See, I have experience with God. And they don't like that. I've been able to detect them, analyze them. They're worried about, that's another thing, they're worried about losing influence. They're worried about other Christians are listening to them in the dead churches, hear about like a real relationship with God, where people have like a real experiential thing. That's one of the things I've been really tired. It's like that, because this church is not filled with people walking after the Spirit. And Dennis Rokser is not doing called the job teacher, Romans chapter 8. Okay? Then here's the thing. Romans chapter 7 is not limited to before somebody was saved, as some people teach. Romans chapter 7 has application to a Christian that's saved, walk after the flesh. And it's not that Romans 7 means here's a guy who was trying to get saved by works, okay? And that's why he was struggling. That applies to having the two natures, where there's the eternal struggle between the flesh and the spirit, where your new nature as a saved person is wanting to do good, and your old nature hates the good that God wants you to do. Your new nature loves it, and then your new nature hates the thing that your flesh wants you to do, like watch porn and get drunk, cheat on your wife, or whatever the flesh is, what you're lusting after doing. Okay, and your new nature is gonna hate this. The fear of the Lord is to eschew evil. So if the fear of the Lord is being a wisdom. So basically, Romans chapter 7 is not limited as some retarded goofs. That's GOWFS. Okay, the hoofs. So here's the point. The hoofs. Okay, the little Michael channel with the baby broken albatross, baby bird, gazelle balls. Understand? With the hoofs, with his pads around, trying to hold his breath, where he can't do it for 90 seconds, like Mike said. And he thinks it's tough because he can hold his breath for maybe 12 seconds. Michael Chandler, he tested it and he feels all proud. He pulls like, guys, he should be able to do 30 seconds. And he just clocked himself for like 18 or something. He feels like $1 billion. And he's prancing around in his apartment, like doing a victory lap, like some kind of horse or something like this. And he's got little hoofs to it, like little baby albatross balls in there. In between fight camp, he lives as like some kind of horse, and he's prancing around there. And then he goes to shake hand with I don't know who it is, Dana White, and he breaks his little baby bird hoof. Now Michael Chandler has to cancel his next fight and walk around like this. With like he's all in a cast. He's got such brittle bone disease that it's like if he shakes hands with his wife, okay, or like his 8-year-old son shakes his hand, it breaks, and he has to call Dana White. Can someone put that on speaker for both my little baby whose hands are broken? And then his wife dials Dana White's hotline, and they go, hey, Michael Chandler calls to cancel the upcoming fight in the White House because he broke his hoofs again. And then I was like, oh, not again. This guy keep breaking his little hoofs. We need to have the nutritionist that used to look over his supplement protocol because he should not have like these brittle bones, okay? It's not a thing. John Bone Jones, he called himself Bones. He got exposed for having arthritis in his hip, understand? He had arthritis in his hip, allegedly. Was a fan that was recording and talked to John Bone Jones. He goes, yeah, I actually have a lot of arthritis in my hip or something like this. Now I don't know if that's his way of like long-term like planning to be able to pull out of a fight. It's like, yeah, I like to keep the door open to blame the arthritis hip or something like this. So in case he wants to cancel his next fight, it's already out there. It was like he got exposed against his will having an arthritis hip. So it could be like, oh, my arthritis hip is acting up, I have to cancel the fight. Okay, I won't be surprised. Johnny Bone Jones. I saw a judo guy who looks like Chewbacca or something like this. That took me to the ground inside of the ring. Understand? He ain't seen nothing yet. Johnny Bone Jones, I chew him up and spit the bones out, understand? It's like if you get it in the room with me, I chew him up and spit out the bones. Okay, then I get the bones and I put them in a pot and boil it for 12 hours to make Bone Jones broth. Then I drink, understand? And to absorb his power of athleticism. And understand? So it's like, yeah, Johnny Bone Jones, it's like not only will I eat you alive, but I spit out the bones. And I save the bones and put them in a pot and boil it like bone broth for extra collagen. So I have Bone Jones collagen in my bones. And so whatever is the point. Also Conor McGregor. I like to see him. Understand? I like to see him. See what he can do. I understand. I wonder what Conor McGregor's up to now. I wonder what he's up to now. He said he's going to do more fighting. I'd be interested to, if Conor McGregor, if you take like a real match with me, bare knuckle, gypsy style, just bare knuckle, and bare knuckle, gypsy style, just bare knuckle, and then fight with the old school boxing where I have this kind of, and beat it with it, like the old school where I have kind of like this guard here. Like that. So anyways, the point. Now speak of the baby bones. That's one of my latest qualities, where I've been able to punch steel hard. There's a lot of guys that can even fight the punching, like the ball dummy bare knuckle I have, as hard as many thousands of punches as hard as I've done, but I'm breaking the hands and wrists. Okay, so even that, just hitting the bulb as much as I have, but I'm breaking my hands, is remarkable. On top of that, we're punching steel. So. Oh yeah, I'm getting triggered because I can see the light count go down, but it was 8 before and it went down to 6, which is either passive aggressive people try to trigger me because you can't trigger with the comments. So they work to sabotage the stream. Or it's YouTube that goes. It's like we let Mike get up to 12 likes on a video. So even if he gets like 18 or 24 or 46 likes, we take it down to 12. So it's like the algorithm is programmed to let Mike get like up to 12 likes to spend on this video. So if it's like he gets 24, we take it down slowly, and then once it's 12 at max, then we only keep it there. I'm not joking. I don't care. I'm gonna keep winning and producing great content on something, and success is inevitable. Here's another thing. If you're a Christian and you're following and amening of a female Bible teacher, you're a beta simp, understand? You're humiliating yourself. You have to be really going through something to be really weakened right now. You might not have been born to be weak, but it's like there's got to be something that's really messing you up for you to end up being a Christian man that's like following a female Bible teacher. And I'm not going to change on that. The Bible doesn't teach that women can be Bible teachers. So if you see a female YouTuber trying to pass themselves off as a Bible teacher, they're fraud. And I don't care if you have huge boobs and whatever. It's like you're still being wrong. There's no size of boobs. You had the biggest boobs ever. You make all the videos in bikini. I'm still not going to, oh, whatever, give a pass. And it's like, okay, she can teach the Bible. Okay. there's no level. There used to be a woman that I used to look at a video. Okay. It's like guys that in the 90s would buy Playboy magazine for the articles. So I used to find a female Muay Thai woman who was training, and I'd be looking at her shorts and Instagram posts for the training content. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, that's another thing. I don't watch porn, and I don't masturbate even once a week like the average man does. Despite having high testosterone, the average man gives you a high sex drive. At least on paper. Now, just if I see like a woman show up on Instagram with big boobs in a bikini, it doesn't mean that I end up doing bad things. Like I can't see attractive women without ending up. And that's how men are that are porn addicts. It's like they can't like stop themselves. Eyes are full of adultery, cannot cease from sin. Yeah, so I'm a total state persecution. This Italian Prime Minister Meloni, possibly to launch a new career with the next election, she could get some implants, possibly, Meloni, and then she can rebrand herself as like a beauty bay politician, where she doesn't have to put as much time into doing like high-level public speaking or being serious. She could just show up like at a press conference and be like very large. She has a bikini. She's got big nails and And she's like, I'm Meloni. And then Trump will be like throwing money and the people play music. And then asking for that, if you can dance for me or something. She might be less likely to be offended if someone said be saying that come from a culture with like male chauvinism and macho culture, where there's a certain degree of like male chauvinist Casanova stuff part of that culture, where it's like men are like dogs. Do you understand? And women are more or less uh, used to being objectified. Anyway, that's the point. I don't care, okay? If it's like if I rap for the if it was me versus her, no matter how big the boobs were, my six pack is gonna overpower her influence. Because mine is all natural. It's real muscle. It's just muscle. It's not influence. So, as a matter of fact, I gotta go with it. Gotta go with Meloni. Meloni. Georgia Meloni. Women's vote. Yeah, so she can get to vote where if she hires me for her ladies' night party with her and her politician female friends, and I show up there and do a little bit of dancing and flexing for them as it is. I grow out a mustache possibly, and then they can have a vote about who's and it's only me, so it'll be the voting won't be between different options. It'll be like a rating, okay? It's like 0 to 5 stars. And anything below 2 stars out of 5, the invoice would be 3 times as high. So they'd be cheaper the higher they rate it. So, so yeah. Let's check Meloni's government with Lega and Forsyth has as a goal to stop mass immigration to Israel. But instead, if this mass went to immigrate into your country, you'll be receiving, understand, you'll be opening up wide to let me in. Understand? Okay? It's like if this immigrant try to invade, like immigrate into your country, I feel like there'd be a lot of Italian women that would be like, open up the borders and just let him in, understand? They open their borders as wide as possible, understand? Just to receive me into the country. Yeah. Okay. It's a right national party. Post-fascism. Okay. So I'll be careful to add the word fascist to a political party because it has like a bad taste. They had Benito Mussolini over there. And look what happened to him. He got lynched more pretty much. And people got tired of his shit. It's kind of like the French Revolution. They had a similar to that in conservatism. Right nationalism, conservatism. Meloni on the way to become historic, but Trump is threatening her position. Yeah, so yeah, seriously, I don't support female politicians or women in leadership generally. I don't. We're gonna take a look at this woman. I used to look at her, but it's like I just don't look at her. This woman is something else. The same person is the account. Here. This woman here, she's something else, tell you what. She trains Muay Thai. And she's one of these girls with anything she does. If she does push-up or squats, she counts as weighting by default. She has a weighted vest built in. And she kicks pretty hard for a girl, I would say. By the looks of it, she can kick and punch pretty hard for a girl. I would say she can kick and punch pretty hard for a girl, I would say. By the looks of it. I mean, I won't be surprised if he can hit a little bit harder than some men in roughly a weight class. But she's training really hard. There's another video I don't have to watch by Jesse Camp. How to punch fast. That's another thing where it's like average guys need to learn how to punch fast by watching pros videos. They need to learn how to punch hard by finding boxing coach teaching how to punch hard. And they had to watch videos like how to build stamina and endurance. And these are problems I don't have. I have God in my corner, like the audience streamer song. I have God in my corner.
So how could I overload or overspeed that movement? Attach an elastic band to something.
And it's going to be something that I have been doing by so long, still fast and hitting hard. It's going to have some rubber band that he's going to get you to use.
Find the hiki tap position. Now look, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go back and forth. 1, 2, 3. Just a couple of times. So now my body knows what it feels like to be faster than it's supposed to. No matter what punches I do, I can just try to find that same physiological sensation. And then just try to channel that into my
Well, dude, you should be instant message to see you do
punches. So how could I overload or
This is not a
let's say I
question.
want to improve the speed of my punches. So how could I overload or overspeed that movement? Attach an elastic band to something in front of you. Find the hiki tap position. Now look,
I don't have to watch them.
I'm gonna go back and forth. 1, 2, 3. Just a couple of times. So now my body knows what it feels like to be faster than it's supposed to. No matter what punches.
So this is a common average guy problems, the average mediocre. I don't have greatness. It's like me, self-taught, just end up, oh, I'm super fast and punch really hard. Okay. And then have superhuman stamina and cardio, like lung performance, endurance. But like other guys, they don't have a great level of these things. So it's like they have to watch videos, or like learn how to punch fast, or how to hit hard, or how to get stamina, or something like this. But that's average or mediocre problem.
Same physiological sensation. And then just try to channel that into my technique. Now let's say I want to improve the speed.
And it's got Boss Ruder som jag börjar also. Boss Ruder, I don't know how many years he's been HRT, TRT, but he's been on, he's on some kind of injections, hormone injections. And Joel being uncommon men where with a six-pack is 36 years old, and only one at 25,000 men about 35 have a six-pack. I'm gonna end this live stream. I might go live on TikTok next or here again, we'll see. If you're tired of the video, you need to start listening to my advice. You do better with the target.